Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Reading the Red this Wednesday morning. And it's strange. It's got warm again. It's so warm out there this morning. Even though it's raining, it's so warm. We live in a strange country. Mark chapter 7 and verse 23. All these evil things come from within and defile the person. So having give a long list of what we would definitely call evil, Jesus concludes by saying all of these things, and a whole lot more of course, all of these evil things is what they come from within, and it's them that defile the person. It's these things done that are spoiling the person's life. And the reason why they are allowed to be, as it were, expressed through them is because these things have come into them. And what we let in will find its way out, which is why we need to be very careful as to what we listen to, what we see, and what we smell, what we taste. We need to be really wise as to the things we give our senses to, because they're all the receptors. They're the things that receive from out there. We are like sponges soaking up from birth. You know, when you look at a baby, it constantly is copying the environment that it's in, and that's how it learns, develops and grows. And the human being is perhaps the biggest copycat of them all. And we do that all through our lives. We hear, we see, we smell, we taste, and we draw into ourselves these things that are out there. And once they've got into us, then they're in us, and they will find their way out of us. And that's why the desires of the flesh, Paul says in Galatians, are at enmity with God, because God's Spirit is wanting us to do this, and inside of us we are wanting to do that. And it's the this and the that contention that makes for the Christian a wearisome life. And so one of the victories that God has given to us in him is to recognize that he brings about change through the death of who we are. So we have to die to self and live for God, which means that every time these manifestations of the things that are in us want to manifest themselves through us, as we allow the Spirit of God in us to challenge that action, so we die to that action. We say, that's not who we are now. It might have been who we were, but it's not who we are. And so we die to self, the old self. We teach our soul to live according to our new nature, not driven by the old nature, because the old nature was taking us into the darkest night. It was taking us into the presence of the enemy, was drawing us away from the presence of God. And all evil draws you away from God. Live in the light as he is in the light, and then you will have fellowship with God. And so the sense of fellowship that we're looking to have as Christians is determined by the reality of what's in our hearts and how much we die into ourselves and living for God. Because when we stop living for ourselves and the evil practices that we were once part of, we start living for God. And that's when the glory and the victory of being a Christian is manifest in the earth. Thank you for joining me. Be blessed. Have a great day. And I'll see you tomorrow.